Hello, welcome to yoga. My name is Nicola and this will be an all levels yoga practice. And for today's practice we'll be getting into the hips and building some upper body strength with some flowing movements. Always options and modifications available, so no worries. So just beginning with our centering, finding a nice tall spine in a comfortable seat. Just taking your attention inward. Just focusing on the body, checking in with yourself. And just noting any areas that may need extra attention. Begin to slow and deepen the breath, allowing belly to expand on your inhale. And drawing belly button in towards spine to help you fully exhale. As you continue these deep, slow breaths, on your next inhale, allow belly then rib cage to expand. As you exhale, ribs draw in, belly button pulls in. And then on your next inhale, allow belly, rib cage, then collarbones to expand. As you exhale, collarbones fall, ribs draw in, belly button pulls in. Just really filling up your lungs completely from bottom to top. And then allowing them to empty from top to bottom.
It takes a crane to build a crane. It takes 2 floors to make a story. It takes an egg to make a hen. It takes a hen to make an egg.
Take one more full deep breath.
It takes a thought to make.
And then allow your breathing to be natural without too much thought. Perhaps setting an intention for yourself for today's practice. Something you hope to achieve through the practice of yoga today. Something personal to you. So if your eyes were closed, just gently open them. And we'll be making our way onto hands and knees and working into the spine. So just making sure that fingers are spread nice and wide and joints are stacked. Just come into some cat dog or cat cow. So on your inhale, belly lowers, tailbone and chin tip up. And as you exhale, draw belly towards spine, rounding the back and tucking in chin and tailbone. Couple of options here. So you can try to begin each movement with the tailbone. So tipping the tailbone, lowering the belly, and then looking up And then you tuck the tailbone, round the back, and tuck the chin. Just working with the rhythm of your own breath. If you would like to start a little slow here, as you come into your cat stretch, just lower your hips towards here. And then kind of sweep your nose across your mat, coming down onto the forearms, and then making your way up into that dog tilt. If this does not feel good on your knees, just go with the other version.
It takes some silence to make sense, and it takes a loss before you found it, and it takes a road to go nowhere, it takes a toll to make you care, it takes a hole to make a mountain.
And then whenever you're ready, just make your way back to a neutral spine. And we'll take the spine side to side. So on an exhale, hips and chin go to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, hips and chin to the right. So if you could see your spine from above, like a bird's eye view, you would be making a letter C from side to side. You can also add a flow here if you desire. Kind of moving your hips side to side and coming into that C curve at the end of the hip movement. Just an option. Again, if it doesn't feel good on your knees or something else is bothering you, just stick with the static version. We'll just be here for a couple more breaths. So just go once more to either side, and then pause in the middle. We'll be adding a spinal twist. We'll begin with a flow before we hold. This is thread the needle. So keeping left hand grounded, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread your needle, pushing fingertips away, bringing shoulder down to the mat. Inhale, open up. Exhale, palm down, switching sides. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, thread your needle. Inhale, open up. Exhale, palm to mat. Just continue alternating sides for a few breaths. No need to rush. Just going at your own pace. So the next time you find the right arm threading through, we will pause and hold for a few breaths. Just making sure that head and shoulder are resting on something. If it's not the mat, just make a fist to rest your head. If that left hand is free, you can stretch it out long to get into the shoulders a little bit more. Or you can find that half bind, draping it behind your back. We'll just take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, making sure your left hand is back down on the mat. Open up your right arm. And place that hand down, switching sides for the last time. Find that hold on the opposite side. Just taking one more breath here, making sure your right hand is back down on the mat. And then your next inhale, opening up, then placing palm down. So we'll be coming onto the belly. So just kind of lower yourself down onto the mat. We're going to begin to open up the hips gently. We'll be doing a lot of hip work today. So just go ahead and rest your forehead on the backs of your hands. Keep the tops of feet down, but take your legs about mat width apart for crocodile. This is a very open belly posture, allows free movement of the diaphragm. So just again, slow down the breathing, take full advantage of this open posture. Allow belly to expand with your inhale. So we'll be coming into a half frog. So bring your right leg back to the center and just draw your left knee out. You kind of make right angles at the hip, knee and ankle. Your foot is flexed. Leg is resting on the floor. Upper body is relaxed. Just shift the leg around a little bit so it feels comfortable. You may need to bring the knee a little higher or lower, depending on your hips, and that's okay. And we'll just stay here for a few breaths. Just gently begin to slide that leg back. Bring it directly behind you. And then slide the right leg out. Again, just find that comfortable position. Ideally, right angles, but not necessarily the case if your hip is a little tweaky or your knee. Just go ahead and shift around so you're comfortable. Try to relax the upper body. Jaw is relaxed and unclenched. Shoulders are relaxed. And then slowly just slide that leg back. Just bring your hands kind of next to your rib cage. We'll just be doing a little flowing cobra movement. Keeping the hands down, but trying not to press too hard into the hands. On your inhale, tighten the glutes and bring head and shoulders off the mat. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise the head and shoulders up. Exhale, lower. Just continue here with this flow. Glutes are engaged. Tailbone is pressing in towards the mat to protect the low back. Just do one more. Pausing here, just take your arms out to make kind of goalpost arms and your hands are pressing on the mat. Come up to that cobra. You may be able to get up a little higher. And we'll just do some shoulder dips. Inhaling in the center, exhale as you dip your shoulder. This just always feels good on my shoulders. Just to really kind of twist and dip them down. If it doesn't feel good, just come up and down into your flowing cobra like we did earlier. We'll just go once more either side. And slowly lowering down, bringing the hands in. We'll come back to a tabletop. We'll be moving into child's pose, but we'll do melting heart or puppy first. Again, this is good for the shoulders. If it does not feel good, go straight back into child's pose. If you're doing the melting heart, bring your forearms down to the mat and kind of lock them there so they don't move, and then begin to bring your hips back so that your forehead can rest on the mat. So your hips are not all the way back like in child's pose, they're hovering. You should feel a good stretch between the shoulder blades. And then just slowly begin to transition to your child's pose, allowing the arms to kind of move back a little bit, bringing hips towards heels. You may need to take your knees a little wider to make room for the belly. So just find that comfortable position. And just enjoy child's pose for a few breaths. Taking one more breath. And then coming up onto hands and knees and hooking the toes under, preparing for downward facing dog. So perhaps even taking hands a little forward of shoulders. And then bringing the hips up, pushing heels towards the mat, pushing into your hands so chest moves back towards your thighs. Think about drawing shoulder blades down your back and wrapping them forward. Kind of tipping that tailbone up and back, finding that dog tilt. All just to help support the spine here in this downward facing dog. So we will be coming into our flow from here. Plenty options. We'll be doing some standing postures. And in between those postures, you'll have the option to come back here to your downward facing dog, or to add a flow, a chaturanga, so you'll be stepping to plank, lowering down, coming to upward dog, and then downward dog. At any point, arms are fatigued or you just need a break, just come into child's pose and then jump back in. Or, remembering that this is on YouTube, you can just pause me. That's always an option. So from here, take an inhale breath, soften your knees, and we'll step the left leg forward. And make your way up into Warrior One. We'll start simply and we'll build from there. Just coming down, releasing back heel, coming down to your runner's lunge. This time we will just step straight to downward dog. Inhale, soften the knees and switch feet. So bring your right foot forward, set your heel. Coming up to your Warrior One, front knee is bent, back leg is straight, glutes are engaged, energy shooting out from that back foot, energy radiating up from your fingers. Take an inhale breath, exhale, come to your runner's lunge, and once more, just step to down dog. So adding on from here, inhale, soften your knees, stepping left foot forward, setting your back heel, finding that Warrior One. So we'll be adding a twist here. So take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, twist to your left, so towards your front leg, bringing arms to shoulder height. Inhale, reaching arms up. Exhale, release back leg, coming to runner's lunge. Setting right hand down. Inhale, reaching this arm up. Exhale, twist. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, bring the arm down. And here's where you have the choice, stepping straight back to downward dog or step back to a plank. Remembering you can lower knees here and lower down that way, or you can keep the knees up, slowly lower with an exhale. Choose to hover or come all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath here. Inhale, soften the knees. Exhale, step your right foot forward, set your back heel, sweeping up, finding your Warrior One. Inhale here. Exhale, find your twist, twisting towards that front leg, so to the right. On your next inhale, reaching up. Exhale, releasing back heel, finding runner's lunge. Setting that hand down, open up for a twist. And bringing hand down, your choice. Step into plank and add the flow, or step back to downward dog. Inhale if you're in plank, exhale lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath here. And inhaling, soften your knees. Step your left foot forward. Set your back heel. Inhale, Warrior One. Take one more inhale, exhale, finding Warrior Two. So opening up to the right side. And then coming into extended side angle, so leaning forward, bringing forearm to thigh, reaching back arm overhead, creating that nice diagonal line from back leg to top arm. So remember to keep your hip down, avoid hiking it up. Keeping the legs as they are, kind of windmill your arms, bringing back arm to rest on your leg. Front arm reaches up, palm is facing back. So peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. Windmill your arms, bringing them either side of your front foot, transitioning to that runner's lunge. And from there, your choice, the chaturanga, or just step back to down dog, or take a break in child's pose. Take a breath in downward dog. Softening your knees. Step your right foot forward. Setting back heel down. Inhale. Warrior one. One more inhale. Exhale, open to warrior two. And leaning forward, bringing forearm to thigh, reaching back arm overhead, coming into that extended side angle. And then finding that reverse or peaceful warrior, coming into that side bend. Coming back to warrior two, and then windmilling your arms, finding a runner's lunge. And again, your choice. We'll step back to downward dog or add the flow. And softening your knees, stepping left foot forward. This time keep the back heel raised. Come up into a crescent lunge. And then slowly lower your back knee down, coming into a low lunge, releasing the back toes. Kind of push through that front heel, which will help support your low back as you tuck the pelvis forward. Then bringing your arms down. We'll be working into the hips a little bit more here. So bringing your hand to the inside of your left foot. Go ahead and walk that foot out towards the side. We're coming into lizard pose. So option is to stay right here. This is a pretty good stretch in your hips right there. Otherwise, turn your front foot out. Maybe even come onto that knife edge, that side edge of your foot, opening your hip a little more. One more option, which usually works if your hips are pretty flexible, is to come down onto your forearms. That does not work for everybody. It's not something you have to aim for. If you can and want to, then please try it. If you do not, just stay up here. We'll be here for a few breaths to give us a little bit of a chance to kind of get deep into the hips. So try for 3 more breaths here. If you are on the elbows, just come back up onto the palms of your hands. Gradually walk this front leg in, bring your hands either side of your front foot, hook your toes, finding that runner's lunge. And then once more, finding your flow or downward dog. Either one helps to build some upper body strength. And then And softening the knees, step your right foot forward, keeping back heel raised. On an inhale, make your way up to that crescent warrior, crescent lunge. And then slowly lowering that back knee down, releasing your toes, pushing into the front heel, tucking the pelvis, reaching up. And then bringing hands down, either side of the front foot. Begin to walk your right foot out to the side. Bring this right arm in, and again, your choice. Stay right here, turn the front toe out, roll onto the outer edge of the foot, or maybe lower onto your forearms. If you do happen to have a yoga block handy, you can also use the block to bring your forearms maybe about halfway down onto the block, so that's always an option. Kind of transition you partway down. So again, try to stay here for 3 or so more breaths. And if you're not there already, come back onto the palms of the hands. Begin to walk this right foot in, bringing hands either side of the front foot. Hook your back toes, finding runner's lunge. And then for the last time, your choice, chaturanga or downward dog. So from downward dog, just go ahead and lower your knees and come back into child's pose. We'll stay here for a few breaths just to give your arms a break here. So slowly transitioning to a tabletop and then back to downward dog. We will be coming into pigeon. I'm going to do a little hip opener first. So coming into three-legged dog, raising your left leg up, pushing through the heel. And then stacking the hips, one on top of the other, bending your left leg so the heel comes towards glutes. Looking out under that left arm. Inhale, extend your leg long, leveling off the hips. Exhale, just draw that knee forward and find a hover. And then slowly lower that leg, finding your pigeon pose. So back leg is extended long. Coming up to proud pigeon, opening up the chest, feeling the stretch in that psoas muscle on the right side. And then from here, slowly bringing the torso down. Again, you can pause halfway so you're on your elbows. Or perhaps making it all the way down, resting head either on the mat or making a fist or stacking your hands to rest your forehead. There's always the option to place a yoga block underneath the left hip, or a couple of pillows to make this easier. Or the alternative is to do your figure 4 stretch on your back, which I will briefly show, just in case. So you're on your back. Your left leg would be across with the ankle resting by the right knee. And then you pick this right leg up and draw the knee in, feeling that stretch in the left hip. So there are plenty options for pigeon. It is a pretty intense pose in the hips. So just make it work for you. In time, things may change and you may be able to come into a different version of the posture, but again, that's not necessarily the goal. The goal is just to get the best out of what you can right now, working within the limits of your own body. It should feel good. You should feel a stretch, but no discomfort. Taking one more inhale breath, coming up to proud pigeon. And then stepping back to downward dog. Just take a moment here to kind of walk out your dog. And then we'll find that three-legged dog by raising the right leg up, pushing through the heel, draw belly button in. And then bending that leg, bringing heel towards glutes and stacking your hips. Opening to the right side.
Just like my blood flow down from the hills, round aching bones.
And then leveling up your hips, extending that leg long. Drawing knee to nose, rounding the back, hover, hover, hover. And then set that leg down. Of course, if you are on your back doing the figure four stretch, just switching legs. So coming up to proud pigeon, feeling the hip flexor muscle on the left side. Taking an inhale breath, and as you exhale, folding forward to your own degree, feeling the stretch now in your right hip.
One side all the lights glow, and the folks know and the kids go with the music and the drinking starts. On the other side where no cars go, up to the hills that stand alone like my restless heart. I would swim, but the river is so wide now. Scared I won't make it to the other side. Well, God knows I failed, but He knows that I've tried.
On your next inhale breath, just slowly make your way back up to that proud pigeon. If you are on your back, just stay there. We're coming to meet you in a moment.
As helpless and as hopeless as a feather on the cloud.
And from here, just roll on to your right hip. Swing this left leg around. And find a seat on your mat, making sure there's some mat behind you. And then just gently roll on down, drawing your feet in towards you, keeping them flat on the floor, arms by your side. And inhaling, just reach arms up overhead, allowing low back to disconnect from that. Exhale. Push low back down into mat, engaging the core slightly. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, draw belly down. Just continue for a few more breaths.
Daylight in the city part. And I think of you in Glasgow. 'Cause you're all the same.
The next time your arms are reaching overhead, just also extend your legs out, coming into a full body stretch. You can point the toes or flex the feet. You can even interlace your fingers and push up through the palms. And then slowly sweeping your arms down, gather your knees in, and just give yourself a hug. Perhaps tucking the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. Perhaps taking your hands to your kneecaps, kind of making circles here with your knees going in one direction. Making sure all 4 points of the low back come into contact with the mat in kind of a rocking motion, giving a little massage to your low back. And then pause and switch directions. And then once more, just draw your knees in, hug yourself in nice and tight. And then releasing your legs, bring your feet flat on the mat, just wherever they're comfortable. Arms by your side. We'll be coming into bridge, but we'll begin with a little bit of a rolling bridge. So on your inhale, just bring your hips up. And as you exhale, and lower the hips, just round down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Inhaling, lift the hips up, pushing into the heels, engaging glutes and inner thighs. Exhale, just roll down your spine. Continue with the rhythm of your own breath. And the next time you bring your hips up, we'll pause, holding the posture. Always have the option to continue with the rolling bridge. If you are holding, push into your heels, engage inner thighs, so legs stay parallel. Perhaps even walking the shoulder blades in towards one another, interlacing fingers, and pushing knuckles towards your heels. Try to stay here for 2 more breaths.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you. Everything you do.
And just slowly, if you have the hands interlaced, release them. Release the shoulders. And just slowly roll down, lowering your hips. Again, just gather your knees in and either rock side to side or come into those knee circles. And just let your body tell you what it needs in this moment. So we will be coming into bridge one more time with the option of coming into wheel if that's in your practice. Other options, while you hold the bridge, you can lift up one leg. Place it down, lift up the other leg. Just play around with it. If you prefer to just hold bridge or do a rolling bridge, then those are also good options. So just bringing your feet down, arms by your side. With an inhale, just begin to lift up your hips, pressing into the heels, engaging inner thighs. And from here, maybe lifting up one leg. And then the other. You can lift up your heels, push the hips up a little higher. If wheel is in your practice, You can make your way up to a wheel. You can also play with lifting your leg in wheel. Again, just options. Everyone is at different levels. Everybody's bodies are different. If you are in a wheel, slowly lower the shoulders back down to the mat. Pause for breath. And then slowly lower down, bringing hips all the way down. And again, options, hug your knees in, make knee circles, or perhaps even just windshield wiper your legs, allowing knees to fall gently from side to side. And then coming to stillness, drawing your knees in, and then extending legs straight up, coming into legs against the wall pose or hip stand. And just point and flex your feet. Perhaps circling your ankles. Maybe raising your arms up and then just giving everything a shake. Allowing wrists and ankles to be loose. Just think about letting go of anything that no longer serves you. Just shake it off, let it fall to the ground. And then gradually draw your knees towards your chest. You can grab your feet, your shins, or maybe just rest arms on back of thighs and clasp your hands, coming into blissful or happy baby. Try to bring your tailbone back down to the mat once you've found the preferred hand position. And then just go ahead and rock from side to side. And then just come to stillness. Perhaps bending and straightening the legs if you would like to work into the hamstrings a little bit.
Modern office buildings are chasing the sun, and the wind is racing out.
And then letting go of the feet, bringing feet down to the mat. Go ahead and cross your right leg over left and shift your hips an inch or two to the right. Bringing arms out to shoulder height. Just allow knees to come over, across and down to the left. Just be mindful of your low back. If low back starts talking to you, just back off the twist a little bit. Keep your knee in line with your hip. If you're more flexible, you can draw the knee closer to the floor. Maybe even taking left hand and pressing on the leg just to encourage that knee a little closer to the mat. Keeping right shoulder connected to the floor. Gaze can be straight up, or you can turn and look out towards that right hand. Commuters come waiting for the train in the longest Bavarian night. Everybody's waiting for the sunrise. Just taking one more breath here. Gradually roll onto your back, uncross your legs, level off your hips. Perhaps just windshield wiper your legs a few times. And then coming to stillness, crossing left leg over right, shifting hips an inch or two to the left, and just bringing knees over, across and down to the right side, just being mindful of your low back. Just take one more breath here. And slowly roll onto your back, uncross your legs, level off your hips. Again, just take a moment to release the low back by allowing knees to fall gently from side to side. Or once more, just gather your knees in and give yourself a hug or rock side to side. And then just coming to stillness. Take your arms overhead and extend your legs long. And then just open your legs to about mat width apart, so your feet are kind of coming to the bottom corners of your mat. Take your right leg and just cross it over the left ankle. And then begin to bend over towards the left with the upper body. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. You're still fully connected with the floor. And just pull on that right wrist. So you're making like a crescent moon shape. So everything is relaxing down on the mat. The only thing that's not in contact with the mat is your right foot, because you're crossed over your left ankle. Just enjoy this crescent moon stretch. Releasing that right wrist, just extend the arms overhead, uncross your ankles, bring right leg to the right corner of the mat, and just take a breath here. And then take that left leg over to the right, crossing your left ankle over the right. Bringing hands together, grabbing hold of your left wrist. Just begin to bend over towards the right side, just kind of gently pulling on that left wrist with the right hand. Finding that crescent moon stretch to the right side. Left rib cage expanding with each inhale. Take one more breath here. And then release and come back to center. Bring your arms initially out to shoulder height. Bring feet flat on the mat. And then just bring soles of feet together and allow knees to fall out to the side, coming into a reclining bound angle. So if you enjoy this posture and you want to stay here for Shavasana, just allowing gravity to kind of work on those knees, opening the hips, then feel free. If there's another posture that you prefer to take for Shavasana, then begin to make your way there. Also, if you need to put on some layers, now would be a good time to grab them. And then just make your way to that comfortable position. Just settling in to the support of the mat. Letting limbs be heavy. Muscles are soft and relaxed. Jaw is relaxed. Just slowing down the breath. Just note any areas where you may still be holding on to tension and just try to soften and relax those areas. Take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, just surrender into the support of the mat beneath you. Let the breath be natural and the mind quiet. Just begin to make some small movements, bringing your attention back to the present moment. Just taking in the sounds around you. Perhaps rotating wrists and ankles or wiggling fingers and toes. And And then perhaps just rolling onto one side. Just taking a few breaths there.
Fear is dark, but my love is a lantern shining up like coins in a fountain. Hope is a tree sitting on a mountain where the grass don't grow. There's a sad old sea, but my love is an island.
And then whenever you're ready, just transitioning to a seated position, maybe sitting with eyes closed.
Love is a baby born. Love is the love's unicorn. Love is the
And then opening the eyes, taking an inhale breath, reaching arms out and up, drawing palms together, and bringing hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me for this practice. Stay healthy, stay well, stay happy. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.